Hey guys, it's me Jenna with Parlour, and today I want to discuss with you life synchronization. Now you might wonder what exactly is that, but everything you experience in this lifetime is experienced for a purpose, because Earth is a classroom and every day is a different lesson for you to learn. And you might notice, if you reflect back upon your childhood, you experience many different themes that kept occurring throughout your life and all the way up until now. So every single one of those themes or occurrences were actually part of your life synchronization, so that everything can come together as one and try and get you better towards your highest self and your life purpose, so that you can better find what it is you are meant to be doing here on Earth. Now, like I just said, if Earth is a class, that makes all of us a very special, unique student and a very special, unique teacher to ourselves, because it is only through having individual experiences that we can all bring our own unique vibration to this world to share with others around us. Some people might have had hardships growing up, while others might have had it very easy, but that shapes and molds who they are as a person, and it helps them to find their actual life path. Now, we are all in the same vibrational realm together. There are different frequencies, different channels that we can pick up, and some can even say we can shift the dimensions and go throughout different dimensions, because there is no such thing as actual linear time. But to make it easy, we all learn from each individual lesson. So some people who are on a higher vibrational plane might experience a different life and different memories of the world in general, but we all together bring our uniqueness as one, and we shape how the actual world is happening, and how the actual world is revolving, and how it works, and the negativity and the positivity it experiences here in this realm. So if you take all these things into consideration, you might find yourself wondering, well, what do I need to do to activate this? The thing is, it's already been activated. It's something that you've already been experiencing. You just now need to take note, because the universe is constantly leaving you messages in the form of synchronicities, whether it's numbers like 1111 or symbols like butterflies everywhere for a sign of transformation. You just need to be a good student and take note of all these things. Life synchronization is also something that happens when these occurrences happen. They gear you to take note of them. So for example, my own story is that when I was 6 or 7, I was gazing out my window during bedtime, and the sky was night, and I looked up, and still awake, I saw a UFO, saucer-shaped disc, fly and hover over my house with the cliche round metal-looking disc and lots of little lights all around as windows, and it was fairly close to my house. And being only 7 or 8 or 6, I can't quite remember the age, I gazed at it with just such an awe. And then it wasn't until my mind actually made the connection that it was a UFO, that's when I went into panic mode, and fear took over, and I started shaking, and I ran down, like in fear and paralysis almost, and then I ran down the hallway to my parents, who were still in the kitchen, and told them there's a UFO over the house. They said, let's go see if it's there, and I said no, because the moment I said it's a UFO in my head, and fear took over, the UFO took off faster than I can even describe. So that later triggered me to become something to look for in the sky, and know that something was out there, something more than I could comprehend in my human mind. I spent many times looking at the sky. I spent many years following, getting more and more into researching ghosts, spirits, UFOs, cryptozoology, anything that had to do with the supernatural, because I found it absolutely fascinating. And because when I was younger, and I now knew that I had proof it existed in my mind, my human mind can now wrap itself around the fact that there is something more than this physical dimension. So because of that, I continuously taught myself, and whenever I'd have a ghostly encounter or some spooky happening, it would help me to dive further in to looking into and doing the research. When I started driving, I started looking for ghostly haunted places to go explore with friends, and it was all something part of my life synchronization, so that I knew in the back of my mind that this was real, this was something that existed, because I could believe in it. So through that, I could grow and blossom into, say, a witch or psychic later on in my life. So of course later on, I personally dove too much into the darkness of it. It brought out my own darkness, and I started seeing things like shadow people, and I let fear take over me for a big part of my younger 20s. And I definitely grew from it because I took note of it later on in life. And Earth is a teacher, and we all come here. You can say it's hell on Earth, that Earth is the lower, and the divine cosmos, universe, anything like heaven is the above. So as above, so below. And for us to come into Earth, we have to incarnate into our darkest side so that we can learn how to, on a soul level, grow into our being of light and truly emerge as a butterfly. So every single thing you've ever experienced in your life, whether it's bad or good, from childhood to now, has brought you to exactly where you're supposed to be in this current realities. You can call it deja vu, you can call it whatever you like, but it is exactly who you are and what you're supposed to be. So if someone was raised in a foster home, they chose that life. It was chosen to make them harder, to make them see different realities, because we each encompass our own energies, and we all bring our energies to the table, so to speak, into this world. Something we can each practice is working daily to raise our spiritual vibrations, because in doing so, we raise the vibrations of the world and our current realities. Working together in love and light not only shifts the dimensions to make this world a little bit more beautiful and brighter, but it helps ourselves. And in order to do this big shift, we have to work on ourselves, because as within, so without. So if you don't love yourself unconditionally, care for yourself, your mind, body, and spirit, you cannot give that energy to others. If you dwell in a place of fear and regret and hate and jealousy, those things really drain energy out of your body like nothing else, and you find yourself becoming like a bad battery, and you're not quite able to get on with your daily activities with the same emphasis and energy that someone else dwelling in light may have. The power of the mind is amazing, and spirit knows this, so it's always communicating to you through your mind and your third eye, your pineal gland, which is part of what I covered in the last video, but it also operates in a vibration of love and through your heart, because through our heart we can change so much, not just in our physical surroundings, but within us. If we have past traumas that we need to heal, we need to come from a place of love to heal them. We cannot heal something with more hate. Have you ever had a dislike with a friend or an argument with a loved one or a family member? The only way to ever fix that and make it better is to come at it with a place of love and harmony. You cannot fuel it with more jealousy or anger. You have to feed it with love. And the same goes with a child who's been neglected. If you find a child is disharmonious with themselves and chaotic in nature, they are not getting enough love. So it is love that will fix them, because by you feeding a child that needs it love, then they will in return learn to eventually love themselves, however they may choose to be, however they grew up, whatever their current reality is can only be changed with love. So if you take note of all life synchronization and the synchronicities in your life, you will notice that the universe is constantly leaving you messages, little post-it notes, little postcards thrown around the universe in all of your spiritual journey and physical journey, and you will take note of these things, and this is how you can grow to your higher self on a soul level. Every single thing happens for a reason, and it is up to you to take it and learn from it. Whether it's good, whether it's a horrible incident, know also that you vibrationally attracted it, and how can you grow from this? How can you learn from it? Rather than saying, why me? It's always me. How do you fix it? How do you learn from it? How do you take something bad and make it positive? That is power, and that is true magic. And if you can do that, you're also going to raise your vibration a lot more often and frequently. So learning your life synchronization is key to spiritual growth, because now you're taking note of every single thing that's happening in your life and all those occurrences that happened from childhood until now. Every single thing, you will notice that there was a pattern, there was a theme, and this is going to help guide you to who you are to become. Maybe if you had a traumatic childhood, you were meant to be a public speaker to help raise up other people and help them in their adult life. There's so many outcomes that can happen, and only you can choose to lead that and be the example. So I really encourage you to do this and find that place of love within yourself. Take note of your life and every experience that you've ever had. Understand from it, grow from it, and teach with it. You can do so much. It doesn't need to be something that's traumatic. It could be something that was beautiful. Maybe you have always been finding your place in a state of art and making music or dance, anything. Most of us are artists and we just don't teach ourselves to tap into it. And I feel like that's why I discuss that a lot, because I find many people say they see someone painting and they say, oh, I could never do that. But they can. Perhaps they're not painters, but perhaps they know how to knit or crochet, and they could be doing something with that to make a living out of it and really enhance their life, because then they will be doing something that they truly love. So I hope that this video helped you. Actually, I know this video helped you, and I encourage you to pass it along, share it with your friends and family and loved ones, because sometimes it's hard to wrap our minds around these concepts, but they are real and they do exist, and I only say that because I've lived them, I know them, and you can do it too. So I hope that you do, and I love you all so very much. Have a beautiful and blessed week. Bye.